Good afternoon all, welcome world. We have a quick live stream today. A Netgear NightHawk X6 Router is on the bench. I will just cover up the necessary so we don't get any nasty people deciding that once we have fixed it, which is optimistic, that they will come and steal all the precious data. So we have a NightHawk X6 router. Now the problem is it's a tri-band router, not exactly a modern one. It's a AC 3200 tri-band Wi-Fi router, and it's the R8000 and it's the NightHawk X6. It's a nice router. Got USB 2 socket on the back for plugging something like a network attached storage device. 4 gigabit ports, obviously an input, and USB 3 power reset, on and off switch, and a little LED switch there as well for the necessary. We've got quite a few antennas on it. Looks a bit like a spider. Bit of weight to it as well. Bit of weight, probably, I don't know, 750 grams, just short of a kilo, something like that. So that's where we are with it. Now the issue with this is it is working, but it is only working on wired. The Wi-Fi, when activated, which is this button here, you can turn Wi-Fi on and off. If I can get the camera to decide to focus, you have a Wi-Fi button there. Just trust me, it does say Wi-Fi, and that's the WPS button, which we don't get on with. But a Wi-Fi on and off. So we will just power it up because it takes an eternity, like a lot of routers do, to actually decide to get up and out of bed. We're going to give this a shot when it does wake up and come on. So I'll just show you the symptoms. So the WPS button is illuminated and it should be going into a power mode now. Now the power light comes on and then they all illuminate, and then it takes a long time. Thought I would try this. It's a router that I've had given because of the issue, and I just thought if I can get it working, may come useful as a spare. It comes with a nice large power brick as well, not the adapters which they normally do, and it's a 12 volt 5 amp supply, so it's clearly pulling some juice from the wall, and obviously we're 240 volts over here in Blighty. Yeah, I can't see any other controls or anything else on it, so we'll just let that continue booting up, and we'll just see what screwdriver we do need. Looks like, oh, it's a funny shaped starry one. So whilst that is just turning on, right first time, crikey, that's a rarity. Not used to being right. I have tried a full reset on this, and it's still doing the same. So as you can see, it is just rebooting now. Whenever it tries to kick Wi-Fi in, it will just reboot itself. It'll flash up briefly on there for a couple of seconds, and we'll see if we can get that to display. You'll see it'll come on for a couple of seconds. I'll just put my hands around it so we can see what's what. Never done a router before. I'm hoping it's some type of Wi-Fi card that's gone. I do have a selection of Wi-Fi cards, I say with great confidence, out of laptops. So if it is just plug and play, might just be an easier fix than I was hoping, but we'll wait and see. Hi James, how's things? Nice to catch you online, or me online while you're here. Good afternoon. Yeah, just going to try this router out. I don't know if you saw that. It just flashed up for a second. Now it's going into reboot mode. So there's clearly something wrong. I'm hoping it is just maybe a short. That's the wrong size. Look at this. I said I got it right. And what did I do? Made a fool of myself. Got it wrong. So we will just have a look through my iFixit toolkit. And I will just see if I have got the right size. Yeah, it's. I just thought I would give it a shot on a Sunday afternoon to see what's what with the streaming. I don't think I have the right one in my iFixit, so I'm just going to try a couple more on here. How's the weather down in your neck of the woods, James? Is it any better than where I am? It's blowing a gale here. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. Yeah, self-test is what it's failing. I did try it earlier and it was staying on, and it only shut itself down when I pressed the Wi-Fi on button, and then it would instantly, or within a second, it would flick Wi-Fi on and then reboot. So that's what's. Hi, Russie Repairs. How are you? Yeah, I know what you mean about buttoning down the hatches. I took the dog out for a walk earlier and she ended up 3 streets away. It was a little bit windy for her, which she didn't mind. Forecasted it all week. That's a typical British thing, talking about the weather. It won't be the same as a Wi-Fi one. Ah, right, actual laptop. I might be screwed then, because that's what I was hoping for. But there we go. We've got all the 4 screws out. Can't see any hidden screws, so we'll just take the back ones out as well. Yeah, if anybody watching has had any other experience with a Wi-Fi router, please butt in, because if there is a simple solution, I wouldn't mind doing it. I've just acquired a Nvidia Shield and also a couple of gaming remotes and a couple of TV remotes with it. Now, I bought it off eBay as untested, which we all know untested means they've tested it and it doesn't work. So I bought it off eBay, the Nvidia Shield, and that's got a power issue. I did turn it on yesterday just to see that it wasn't something simple like they plugged it into an outlet, which didn't work. But it just didn't work. So I am going to have a go at that also. I'm hoping I can get that working, because they're cracking. I've got one already, and they are cracking little pieces of kit. Are the Nvidia Shields. Don't know if anyone else has got one. They are really, really good. Brilliant for streaming Netflix, and you can use, no screws under there, you can use is it Nvidia Link, Game Link or something like that? Yeah, falling at the first hurdle. There we go. They say half the battle isn't the repair, it's getting in. Well, we all know that feeling. There we go. There we are. Just a bit of gentle persuasion. Because we'd all do the same. If we couldn't get in, we'd quickly have a look on Google and just to see how everybody else does it. But it looks like this top bracket peels away. Yeah, I was thinking of using the working one as a reference. So we've got the top shield off. We'll just file that on the floor. Okay, it's harder to get into than safe. Yeah, I was thinking of using the working one as a reference, just so I can check voltages and things like that. Or it might just be something really simple, like it could be the DC port. It's been reported as no power issue, so that's what I'm hoping. Because we all like something a bit simple now and again, don't we? Well, that's what my wife tells me. She likes something a bit simple. I've got to give a shout out to one of my subscribers. I'm just going to cover this up 1 second. Sorry guys. There is a hidden screw and it's right underneath, of all places, the Wi-Fi password and MAC address. So that's why I can't get into it. There we go. Put that down. Yeah, I've got to give a shout out to one of our sated subscribers, Nick, for their help and support what they've been giving me, along with all the others such as James and Tony and everyone in the community. Been really invaluable. I hope I'm making this look dead simple, because it's feeling everything other than dead simple. It's like wrestling a slimy octopus. So by the looks of it, we have some Wi-Fi antennas which clip under the board here, and it makes these things fall out. So I'm going to put them in order, because I'll guarantee they only go in one way, and I will forget which order they go in. We have a little ZIF connector just there, ribbon connector. We have another taped on Wi-Fi antenna there. Oh, it's right down there. Now these are going to be fun. I think this is going to be one of these. It's a lot easier to take to pieces, and I know I'm making it look easy. And you're all ever so jealous. I've even tried it sticking my tongue out. Oh, is that one? I don't know if you can see that right down under the board. Ah, well, look at that. It's easy when bottom falls off. It's okay. I didn't go on the 3-day training course to take these to pieces. 2 more antennas for the top. And as if by magic, we are into the board. Ooh. I'm going to zoom down on this a little bit. I know quality reducers, but I'm hoping that's not any type of liquid or water or anything like that. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera. Certainly a bit of... Just bring the scope out, microscope. I need to stop calling it a scope. And let's just let's zoom out on here so we can get a nice field of view. Yeah, I'm hoping that's not. This is that's the internet in port. Yeah, I think it looks like factory here. Maybe another blob of something just about here, and I'm not sure what that is. There we go. Just turn the contrast down a bit. Yeah, there's a blob of Well, there's something there. Let's get some of the tried and trusted IPA. Can't beat a bit of IPA. Let's see if that'll. Squeaking at no extra cost on a Sunday afternoon as well. Wow. Yeah, so I don't think that's that. So let's have a quick skim around the board to make sure. I saw one of the other YouTubers do this, and they went, "Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong. There you go. We've done a skim around the board." I don't think I'm as anywhere near as quick as them. So I would imagine if it's got an issue with the Wi-Fi, we're going to be looking for the Wi-Fi chip first of all, which is probably under one of these, or under the great big thing over there. Would we say, what do you reckon, James, that if it is failing self-test, it's likely to be a power issue? Or if it's only failing self-test on Wi-Fi, is it likely to be a Wi-Fi chip issue? Where do you think I should look first? Anybody? We've got 3,500 people watching this. Come on, one person out of that 3,500 needs to know. If not, ring your next door neighbour. Should we try coils? There's a YouTuber which always tries the main power rail. So I'm hoping I've turned the beat down on my, and I'm hoping it doesn't deafen people anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, you could be right on that one. I would have to then find we have a beep, so if we use that as the, there we go. Let's just try these coils to make sure we've not. That's got plenty of one next door. I see its neighbour. Yeah, where do we? So let me try these coils at the bottom of the board, and just see if there's. Let me just check for a short. I'm trying to get processed, so I'm just going to check for anything. Yeah, we've got plenty of ohms on there. Plenty of ohms on there. Plenty on there. They're going to be on the same circuit. I would have thought they're virtually identical. That's it. Plenty of ohms and plenty of ohms. So I've got no shorts to what I can see. Any of those. I'm thinking Wi-Fi is going to be under this heatsink, mainly because. Yeah, I think obvious is definitely what I need. It usually throws me a little bit when they're not as obvious as they could be. They're not soldered down. Let's just pop a couple of these covers off. Let's see what hidden treasures are lurking beneath. And guess what? They are soldered down. So we've got. Let's go back to microscope. We have got. If we look at this Wi-Fi antenna here, I'm thinking this Wi-Fi antenna certainly goes down into here. So that is going to certainly be something to do with Wi-Fi, and it looks like it comes out SH5, whatever that is, and goes into these vias, and same down here. So these are clearly the Wi-Fi modules, aren't they? For what we need to. I wonder if it's one of them which is failing, and the because obviously there's 6 modules. Got some little filtering resistors on the line as well. We've got filters here as well. Obviously these. I think it's worth looking on. Yeah, I was just thinking it's like a booster. The signal will go in, then it'll just boost them all individually. I think the issue is they are actually, if we can just get this in focus a little, they are actually soldered down. So I'm going to have to unsolder these if I'm wanting to explore underneath each one. But I suppose that's needs must. We've got some test points here. I'm just wondering whether these are the test points for yeah, the heatsink might be a good shout as well. There's obviously screws holding the heatsink down. Yeah, you can see the screws. And it looks like actually 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like we'll just flip the I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with the iron on those. Yeah, the main heatsink. You mean this side of the Wifi, that one. Yeah, you mean this this big heatsink here. What's taking up vast majority of top side of the board. It looks like they're not actually screwed down. Well, they are, but they're not. These pegs, if we can see if we can get this in shot, it's a lot easier to look at rather than point to. There's a peg just here, and this peg goes through the board here to that solder there. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get the old Atan air station on, the ST862, and get a little bit of heat on there. Maybe let's see if we can use the tried and tested solder sucker and see if we can get the heat off. We want maximum heat. I want quite a bit of airflow because we need quite a bit of heat transfer to this. Let's get some flux. I think what I'll do, I'll have a go with the solder sucker to see if I can get some heat into the board, because obviously these are directly connected to the heatsink on the other side. So I'm hoping if I can just get a little bit of heat into it and then suck most of it away, it won't be anywhere near as much to actually concentrate on with the wick. I do think it's a very, very good shout. Mine's a bit like an asthmatic frog, my solder sucker. It was an AliExpress special, and I've had it a few years. I think I inherited it off Netgear when he finished on Arc. It is a few years of age. I was watching your I think it's going to absorb the heat alright. I was watching your tool video, and I need to invest in one of them blackhead remover spikes. I quite like the look of that, because I'm always grabbing my plastic ones, but they're not always best when we're using when I'm using heat. So I've got a bit of bubbling happening on that. Use the tubble to try and angle a bit more heat down onto it. Then in the hands. Well, heatsink's certainly doing its job. We're getting there though. as you can see. Yeah, who would have thought that? I suppose it's needs must. Needs must. Multi-purpose. A blackhead remover for electronics, and I use a Phillips screwdriver to put my fake eyelashes and makeup on. Can't go wrong. Now this is getting a little bit toasty. It seems to have pulled down again. We have a little bit of movement on that now. I'm going to try my best to set fire to this board. Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I whack the iron on as well, because I think you're probably right with the wicking, the actual temp is just not getting to where it needs to. Yeah, so we're just going to park that a second, and I'm going to get the wick out. I'm going to slide that out of the way a tickle. I'm going to pre-soak the wick. Yeah, at least it's got a bit of temperature in it. Yeah, I would say that's a little bit toasty and warm under there now. So at least it's going to hold a little bit now. As if by magic. I think you were right all the way. I wish I had some low melt solder. It is disposing of it. It's whether it disposes of it that enough to actually make it. Just if I can get this one as well. Sorry for the vibration. I'm just plugging the fume extractor in. Whew. I don't know what Magic's solder they've used when they made this, but wow, it's a little bit smoky. Let's get the Dalek's nose on. That's a really good call. Do you know you can't think? Back to this one. This is one we started originally. This is the Mechanic SX862 leaded solder. So we've now got the board is that toasted. It is drinking it and it is sucking it through, as we can see. Get it on. Just a little bit of that wick off. I am going to do is give it a nice bath in the fridge, because I can clean it. That looks better. I should just turn the fan up a little bit more. It's certainly smoking well. It's not even that old. I reckon that's about as good as I'm going to get that one. I should move on to that one just there. We'll do the same process. Bit of leaded solder. Just to see if we can bring temperature down. I do like that one. It just kind of sucked it all back round. Can't beat a good suction. A bit of wick. I'm using the same tweezers I think you got on one of your things. I've used them a few weeks now. I do like them. I do find they work very, very well. And they're just the right angle to stop me burning me delicate little fingers. Got it spread. That's about as good as I'm going to get that one. And the last one. Give it a nice bath of solder. Yeah, it does. They do help to keep your hands away from the hot air and things like that. I'm a bit like you. I do like mechanic stuff. I've just been looking at. I don't think you'll need it, but they do a mechanic USB-C 160 watt, and it's called 160G power USB. Because I'd like to get the USB-C on OBS, and at the moment it isn't. It's a bit like what Soren uses on his, just plugs in to the side. But I do fancy the either something like you've got, or just getting my cam like I've got on the power supply at the moment, focusing on the USB-C power adapter. Hey Tony, how's things? How's the little brave boy today, Tony? Is he okay? The solder station is the Finzi, what I saw on review, and I must say it does work extremely well. This one's proven a little bit more stubborn. Brilliant, that's fantastic, Tony. Something should have arrived today for him. I were hoping it might cheer him up. That's good. Let's put that down. So we've got sticky flux all over now. Really sticky foot. Bit of no, I didn't put my name on it. In fairness, Tony, it should have been there end of last week, but Amazon being Amazon, forgot to deliver it, so I got into customer care and sorted it out. But just glad he's back where he should be with you. And I just thought it might like a little bit of a surprise, just to cheer him up. I'll have to catch that. I didn't realise that at all. It was a gift rather than anything else. So I'm just going to knock the stuff out of the way. So I have got now the 1, 2, 3 out of the way to get the heatsink off. But this heatsink is not going to budge. So I can only imagine I'm going to have to start putting heat on and maybe pushing it through. Or should I? Yeah, I think I'll try with the heat, the hot air, and push it through, because obviously there is a big heatsink on the other side. For anyone who's just joined us, the heatsink's secured there, there, and there with pegs, which just go through to the board there, there, and there. They've not made this particularly easy or user friendly, so we're going to stick a load of heat on it and see if I can push the peg through. If I heat the tool as well, that will transfer some more heat through. And I'm just trying to heat the board, heat the tool. It takes so much heat because it's directly onto the heatsink. You know what? I could do with asbestos gloves, not rubber gloves. Just going to turn air down a bit because it is deflecting all over the place. Yeah, I think I'm up to date on all your videos anyway. I'll keep an eye out. Well, I don't know about. This is so. But yeah. Yeah, a little bit of French there. Sorry, guys. Mental note. Do you know when that's been under the hot air at 480 degrees? Maybe not the best thing to grab hold of it to touch. It's a little bit. I love your optimism. What am I repairing today? This is a router. It's the NightHawk X6 R8000. And what the issue is, it turns on, but it only works wired. As soon as you activate the Wi-Fi, which is a small button on the front, it shuts down and restarts. So I'm thinking it's something to do with the Wi-Fi. I was hoping it was just going to be something easy. If it's not, James has got it all wrong. I'm going to blame him. So it's what it is. I'm going to try and get this off, because I'm not going to be able to get them off successfully. So I'm going to try and lift these with a little bit of, since this pad's going to be, this box is going to be roasting anyway. Yeah, the the complaint was they had it running and they knocked it and it slipped off the shelf and it got suspended by the Ethernet and power cable. Still on, but since it got knocked, the Wi-Fi has done this. So they disconnected it and put a spare router on. And the LAN and everything else still lights up. But as I say, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the video, when the Wi-Fi kicks in, it just reboots. Right, I'm struggling again to even get into here. So again, anybody got any suggestions how we get into these things? I would have thought it's a bit like a just doesn't seem to want to budge. I mean, this is 480 degrees. For goodness sake. I know it's quite a thick board as well, but it feels like I could send it into orbit at sun and it wouldn't come off. Certainly melting my hands. I can see its solder is liquefying. There we go. Well, there's that mistake of touching that again. Well, this might be a video on how not to do it. This might be a video on never attempt to repair a Wi-Fi router. I did price up a replacement router, which is the, I can't remember, RS 9000 or something like that. £700, 699 British pounds. What? I didn't pay that for my first car. No movement on the heatsink at all. And certainly no movement on these things either. I'm just going to be frying the board at this. I can see the board getting all not nice. And I don't want to flood it with leaded solder around the joint because I don't know where it's going to go. But no, I've tried heating that up, and let's try the double attack, the soldering iron and the hot air. Really struggling to keep my hand near it, it's that hot. I'm just going to do or die at this moment. Should have started with the NVIDIA Shield rather than the Wi-Fi router. That's what I'm feeling. That isn't moving at all. The board's too hot to touch even with gloves on. It's far too warm. There are to put that in context, it's over 100 degrees C. Look at the thermal camera. It's 80 odd for the heatsink. I know it's miles below melting point of solder, but I mean that's how much heat I've put into the board. let's yeah, the any suggestions from anybody? Heat's not working, soldering iron's not working. I've stuck the braid around the joints, and we can see I've got everything that I can off them, but obviously they're designed not to shift. It's there is a little bit of flex on the heatsink, but yeah, nothing spectacular. Nothing spectacular at all. Don't really want to get the board up to too high temperature, but I think the heatsink. I don't want to warm the heatsink up because it's going to damage the chips on the other side. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? I am at a loss. At a loss. I mean, you can see the heat has started damaging the board, what I've put into it. No worries, Tony. You carry on editing. I don't think anybody is going to be able to offer any other advice apart from lots and lots of heat. So yeah, I did have a Vindaloo the other night, and that was pretty hot. I wonder if a few drips of that on here will melt the solder. I don't know. There's a. Should we try? Ouch. Just going to hold it in front of. I've got a little fan just to cool it down a bit. I'm just wondering whether it's worth trying, rather than trying to get underneath them, which we're not going to be able to do, or I'm not going to be able to do any more than I've done now. Whether I start looking at voltages like you suggested, James, and just see if anything's jumping out, or let's see if it's something that we can get to rather than something we can't get to. Because I'd probably only kick myself and say, I should have probably basic right. That's made it touchable. That's probably down 30, 35, 40 degrees. So should we have a power up and see if we've got any voltages at the places we should have voltages as it boots. So let's just stick power in there. Shoots and he scores. What am I getting? Look at this. I need to go for my Olympic trials at throwing things in my dust. We are back to doing this. So let's take it away from the machine that goes beep and let's go on to DCV. On a roll now, 5 viewers. Start to think I'm popular. Let's get us ground off there. Let's hope that extra viewer works for Netgear and is a system engineer. So we've got voltage coming in, which is there. 12 volts, that's about right. Sees it's a 12 volt adapter. It then looks like it comes down to these caps. Yeah, 12 volts. We've got nothing short in there, so we're okay. It then goes to this chip here. So again, let's have a look under the magic scope. So it looks like it comes down here and it goes to this chip here. 3 legs rolled together, so this will be 12 volts, and we will have voltage coming out. 2 volts, nothing coming out. But it's better if I turn it on. I'm just testing you. There you go, 12 volts coming out, so we're good on that. But we do know it powers. I think we flip the board over, because this is the Wi-Fi button down here. Let me just take this light board off the case. Just talk amongst yourselves. And we will carefully, that's how you juggle with cheese, carefully. If anybody doesn't know what carefully is, it's a type of cheese. I've got plenty of dad jokes. Can't even get this in the hole. Get some. That's a good idea. Look on the microscope, it's so much easier. Not. Wow. It's only because I'm left-handed. Flexible ribbon cables, don't you just love them? Better. We're in. We're in. And we have a light. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to knock one of the bench lights off so we can... there we go. Look at that. We have a light. So we'll just... this button at the bottom here, what I'm just going to press is the Wi-Fi button. This turns Wi-Fi on. So we'll just turn it on. And these are the Wi-Fi LEDs here. So the Wi-Fi LEDs, do you see them flick on when I press the button? And then what normally happens is, don't know what we've done. No, it just went through a reboot cycle. And can you see these are just illuminating extremely dim? Extremely dim. And then it's gone into a full reboot. So it's still doing the same thing as it was doing before. And it just performed on key there. So, should we check to see if we've got voltages on any of these down here? Not that I know how to use it. There's no traces on the back. It's just plain. Yeah, it's pretty much okay on there. There's no exposure on the back. I've checked that. Now I do have, because it looks like a signal issue. Do you think, or do you think it's when the Wi-Fi's taking it, it's detecting a short and it's turning it back off and causing it to reboot, like if it had a shorter capacitor? So is it worth checking some caps around the board, do you think, to see what's what? I'm no expert, even though everyone thinks I might be through how I'm doing this. Clearly I'm not. So let's take the machine out and put the machine that goes beep, which hopefully isn't deafening anybody now. And I'm going to be really random. Find a ground, an earth, a zero, whatever we want to call it. let's have a look. Have we got voltage on the coils at the bottom? Well, yeah, 5 volts on that one. These, I think, were all on the same. They were all giving me the same ohm resistance reading. So I think, yeah, so 4.98, 5, got a couple more coils here, 3 volt, 1.8. So this is obviously going to have RAM and a CPU. We're going to have 12 on there. Oh, we've got nothing on that one. Machine's alive. We have got a little glowing light, but we've got nothing on that coil. But don't know whether we should. We've got just under a volt there, so that's going to be CPU power, we'd think. That probably good enough to guess that that's CPU. Should we check these test points on the back? So we've got a decent converter. So we've got a TPA. It's got half a volt on it. Not exactly clean signal, it's up and down. I think these are back onto here, because I'm thinking these are Wi-Fi test points, because we have test point A, B, C, D, E, F, maybe not, because we've got 6 Wi-Fi, and I was just wondering whether they were test points for maybe the power MOSFETs or something like that for the. These have all got similar. I know, I suppose these are only relevant if I know what they should be. That's the thing. There's 3 lots of those test points. Yeah, let's do that, James. Good idea. Let's see if we have any voltage drop when I activate the flux capacitor. Stick that in there. So we'll start on 5 volts. And we'll press Wi-Fi on. And knock the bench light off again, just so we can see. There we go. So we can see the lights a bit easier. I can always put the oscilloscope on just to see if there's any rough signal coming in or something like that. If it's a faulty MOSFET, that would show up on that. Obviously, it'll show up on one side of the coil and not so much on the other. Right, we've got Wi-Fi illuminated. Now, just keep it right. They came on briefly, and now board's rebooted, and now all the lights, you'll see they've all come on like a Christmas tree. So that was pretty static on that 5 volt. I think this one was reading when it got up out of bed. Was this the one? Oh, this was 5 volt as well. Unfortunately, on a reboot, it takes about 3 minutes. If anybody joined us, it's the Netgear NightHawk Router, the X6 that we are doing. So just to clarify what these are. These are, you've got power, internet, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. So I'm just going to make a note on those. So the ones what we are going to be looking at are going to be the third, fourth, fifth one down. So third, fourth and fifth. So those two are 5, 5, 2.4. Okay. These are, they're all softly illuminated now. These down here are, that's Wi-Fi on. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 are Ethernet. So the ones we're concerned about are these here. That one there, that one there, that one there. Okay. Ignore the plus, it's just what it is. That's power up here. Obviously, we're not going to get an internet light because I've got no cable plugged in. So it's these three here that we are going to be kind of focusing our attention on. So let's see what's on that. So we've got 4.98 there. We'll press the button to turn Wi-Fi on. We'll see what's what. It's like electronics to go to sleep by. Right, it has illuminated slightly as the, so ether, right, that's just a reboot cycle that's just gone into. So it definitely still is. And then obviously voltage drops from that one. CPU ones of those, aren't they? They're going to be CPU if they're around a volt. Just don't know why I've got nothing on that. Do you reckon this could be Wi-Fi one? Should we just measure on that one when we press the Wi-Fi just to see if anything comes up? So it's just got to go through its power cycling of that. And then we can just see if we can get anything on Wi-Fi. So we're just waiting for, there is a small LED here, just above where my dainty digit is. We've got 5 volts on that now, 5.13. So that has come up now. Does that stay up? Right, so when that goes through Wi-Fi on, that one drops. That one drops. So I'm not going to press Wi-Fi straight away because I think that is maybe the Wi-Fi circuit. Does anybody know whether the Wi-Fi circuit should be around 5 volts? Is that what it would normally take for the Wi-Fi chips? Does look like it may be a bit of water ingress on here. There's the splodge or splatter just there, and you just see it. So, but there's nothing actually down there apart from a load of dust. And I can't see that being a big issue. So it's right. Wi-Fi light has come on straight away, and we're at 5 point. And it instantly goes into that reboot. WPS came on there. Yeah, I'm thinking that less than a volt is those two there, which is going to be CPU. 3.3 down, one of these up here, I think 3.3. Those at 3.3 ones, weren't they? Are going to be no 1.8. They could be RAM. 3.3 is just a LDO, isn't it, for bringing it all to life, making it run, making it play well. Should we test for some shorts around what I believe is the Wi-Fi circuit around here? We'll just go to beat mode. I'm not sure. Can that still be heard on camera? Can someone just let me know? Wanted to know. I got a couple of people just saying that the previous beat was too loud. Just wanted to know whether that is audible or whether it is too loud or just about right now. I can hear it. Just put some resistors on. Not resistors. I put hot glue on the speaker internally, just to help. So let's just. We know we didn't have them on any of the. Brilliant, thanks, James. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any shorts on these down here because we've got. Do you know, it reminds me of a little bit of something switching on and overheating as well. And when it's overheating, it's shutting down. So I do think it's probably one of the drivers for the Wi-Fi card. I'm just wondering whether the centre pins are shorted. Don't think that had caused it to trip out though, and due to the fact that I really don't know what I'm doing because I've never worked on a router before. Yeah, probably is some type of physical damage. But it's where do you start? It's likely to be under one of these, but those are things that I can't get off. Just cannot get them off at all. And you can see the damage I'm doing to the board with the heat, and just it doesn't really show that well on camera, but it's certainly several shades darker. It's gone a bit caramelly. So unless we can this is clearly the Wi-Fi circuit. They said it only fell about 3 or 4 inches because the power cable and the Ethernet cable was plugged in, so it didn't fall far at all. So I honestly don't think, from what I know, that the fall is going to have affected it that much. I think it's probably more coincidence. They did say they had a firmware update the other day from Netgear, and Netgear was saying that it's now going end of life, so please buy another router. So I wonder if it's just a case of it thought its time we're up. Yeah, I've got no else to try, so yeah, should we give that a shot then? I'll wait the soldering iron back up. We'll I've got some better, some lower temperature melting solder here that I reserve for special occasions. Well, this has got to be a special occasion, so let's put a blob of. Should we start with this one here? All or nothing, this flux. See, Ammo M53. It's I find it good, but just a little bit tricky to get out of the tube sometimes, even with a bigger nozzle. And we'll put the fume extractor back on. Yeah, well, with the problem that I've got with it now, because the Wi-Fi is automatically coming on, it's not staying on through either Ethernet usage. It's kind of coming straight off. So I can't even do that because it's automatically turning the Wi-Fi on. So I'm going to struggle to do any type of firmware update. I might have a look and see if there's any other way I can do it. Because sometimes you can do, well, I can't do it through SSH because it's not even turning on and staying on, is it? I think the solder melts at about 163 degrees is ringing a bell with me on that. I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's the temperature I'm thinking. So let's turn one fan off and put another fan on. So back to the Atan Air Station. And I'm going to go back to the wide angle. And trying to take the nozzle off. Right, so we'll get the nozzle off because we want plenty of heat spread, don't we? Because we're going to have to get some heat into the board. Let's make it a bit toasty. I've got my friend the big red screwdriver. Go back a long way. One of the first screwdriver kits I bought. Take up to 1,000 volts. Not that I get anywhere near that, but just safe in the knowledge that it'll do 19.5 or 20 on a Dell. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over and warm the heatsink as well, because this is going to be the thing what's going to suck all the all the temperature out the board. That's the thing which is definitely going to be the problem. Right, that must be getting pretty. It's a 16-handed job, this. Gonna get some heat on that. Get it back up to temperature. I do feel like that's come out a little bit. But you know what they said about things like that. I'm talking something. Let's see if I've got a wider neck screwdriver. That's something I can prize. Definitely a bit warm. Thinking if I go at this side, it's only one side holding this in. Right, we've got a shiny ball. We all know what a shiny ball means. Oh, look at that. One off. Whoa. Oh, yes, that's hot. Let's see if we can just angle that at me a minute, because that's always the best idea. And try to do the same on here. I love the encouragement. It's more like a lesson in how not to attempt stuff that you don't know what you're doing. Hey, but every day's a school day. Every day's a school day. I'm a big believer in you do what you love, and you. Oh, we've got another one out. We've got another one out. Damn. Look at this, James. We're right. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it? Right, so we're gonna just do exactly the same, rinse and repeat. This might not be as good because the heatsink is all sideways. And poor little chips next to it are going, not me, not me, not me. They're going to have a tan. They might need a week away after this because they're going to be a bit toasty. Come on, Mr. Shiny Ball. Mr. Shiny Ball. Oh, I can see it changing colour. By Joves, we've done it. Wow. Wow. Whoa. Link. Kinect. And we've got some more of them favourable things on there. Now that is toasty. That's hot. Got more than a free suntan. That is a bit warm. Yeah. So I'll continue touching it just to show how warm it is, shall I? Yeah. So we'll put that to one side. That other solder which I just used does have a lower melting point. It's not low melt solder, but it has a lower melting point than that. I've had it years. Not sure what it is, but it's certainly that. So I'm not going to let the board cool down too much because I think we're going to have to get into these, and these are also soldered down. So I'm just going to look for, I think I have a flat headed and a couple of different shape knives, which might just assist in getting into these better than it will, than pry tool. So we're going to have another go. So what we'll do just before we do that, I'm just going to take this off because this is going to stink. I've got some 1mm thermal pad that I could replace it with. So we will have a go at replacing it. Yeah, people need to start warning me that, do you know when you've had hot air on it for several minutes, it retains its heat. You'd have thought I'd have realised that after burning myself first time, wouldn't you? That goes on there. Or maybe it doesn't. I think that one goes up there. Oh, it's got to go on there. Ah, it goes on there. So if there's anybody out there in YouTube land, I need assistance with making some type of graphical video intro, and also one of those little spinny round things which spin up on your stream to say like and subscribe. So just to remind people that unless we find people watching us, we don't do it. And I'm not doing it for the money, but I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it. But it's always nice to know that other people want to watch it. Because if I did it just for myself, I won't do it in front of the camera and ridicule myself with all this. Yeah, I'm not my camera. Good point, James. Good point. Let's just do. There we go. There we go. I think I probably headbutted it. Yeah, be good to know that, James. Thank you. Thank you for telling me about my camera. I'm also, only way I can get chat up on here is by putting it on a separate monitor and logging into YouTube myself to watch the stream. So again, I'm not too sure. Ooh. I'm not too sure whether there is an easier way of doing it. Just going to flick onto here because I've just said ooh 3 times and there was definitely no typho. What on earth is that? Let's just just zoom down and bring the little lady back into focus. G678B. This three out of the 4 components are populated. If we look at the other side of board, there's 4 on there. 2 resistors, 2 caps. There's 4 on there, an inductor and 3 caps. Yeah, there's no commonality with this, is there? I'm just wondering whether that is a bit of... It definitely looks like that's a cap. Looks like a cap's been knocked off there. What's people's thought on that? I think that was me being a little bit rough around the edges when I was taking the heatsink off. That's not a cap by any chance, is it? No, it's a big blobber. Big blobber. Yeah, that's not a cap. Gets it in the bin first time. No, a little bit of all. Just having a quick look on the desk where I was actually. Look at this. And as if by magic, we found it. So before we do any more, I am going to put that back on. Because now what will happen... Yeah, definitely heatsink removal. I'm just going to slot that back on. With a bit of solder and a little bit of flux. You can all ridicule me now for my soldering skills. It is a tiny, 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 tiny one, this. I'm on maximum magnification on there. I'm going to stick the nozzle back on. Ouch. Which I really should have put on before I started heating it up, but hey, if we all had better ideas and we did things right, there'd be no fun in life, would there? Change angle at tweezers on that. I'm burning my hand. It's such a thick board because there's so much ground plane going off on this board. It's crazy how much heat this board actually takes. And it's gone and stood up. Oh, so hot. It's not the best looking one, but it's soldered. Yeah, they are the sharpest pointed ones I've got. I do like the ones that I think you unboxed on yours, Tony, the other day, the micro tweezers. But I don't think it's the tweezers which stopped me doing this. I think it's ability and skill. But it is so much easier with the right tools as well. So, but that's down. It's on. It's not the prettiest thing, but neither am I. So I'm not bothered about that. Let's go back to the wide angle, and let's just have a bit of a zoom in. So we're going to try now and take off one hole, two holes. Didn't damage that. Definitely damaged that one. And I didn't damage anything around there getting that one off, because I think it was down here, which I was doing. You can see there actually. But there was, it is scratched, but it's not, there's nothing around there. So I'm okay with that. So we're going to get the heat back on. The heat is on. Can I get a copyright strike for not singing very well? We're going to get it back up to something nice and toasty. And we're going to try and take off I am on a bit of a time thing tonight, guys, anyway. I'm constrained for another half an hour as I've got something on. So this might be a two-parter. Or I might skip this and just go straight to the NVIDIA Shield. I'm feeling so much more confident with that one than this one. So this is 480 at 40% on the Air station. With the amount of heat the heatsink took, I can only imagine how much heat this is going to take. Yeah, they're going up a little bit. I had a bit of a bulge last week when you kindly put me on the stream, James. Very much appreciated. And then it dropped back a few, which I was to be expected. One size doesn't fit all, but yeah, it is growing nicely. And hopefully, as I settle into a little bit more, I'll find where I'm going with it all, and it should be so much better. I was reading, I was watching, should I say, because I don't read anymore. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was on about the thumbnail being the most important thing. 90% of people only watch videos because of thumbnail rather than the subject. So I'm gonna have to see if I can get a grip on my thumbnails. I'm not creative in that respect. Wow, that's hot, and it's not my forte, but I suppose it's needs must. But again, it's not just about learning this, it's about learning it all. So again, if anybody's got any tips or trips for that, very much appreciated. Put a bit of flux around to see if I can get the solder moving a little bit from around the edges. I think the problem with this is it's so warm. The board's sucking all the heat. The joins are directly onto the board at multiple points. And there's a big thermal pad underneath as well, sticking it down to chip. It's actually melting. Look, it's melting solder. So I can see. Yeah, I had a friend here yesterday. No, Friday, and they use Canva for work, and they were trying to show me bits and bobs, but they showed me in about 15 minutes, and it looks very simple and easy to do. I think it's the creativeness which it might be for me, rather than the actual ability to be able to do it. It's been creative enough to do it. I'm going to spray a bit of me electrical cleaning spray on there because it's nice and cold, just to cool that down, because that's gross and I can't touch it. Now I have got a ball of solder right next to this, so I'm going to use that as a gauge of when that goes. Yeah, that's not even going. When that goes, I should be able to we're getting there now. Oh, it's lifting. We have lift off. Houston, we have lift off. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3. Ouch. 2, 2. No. Abort, 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 abort. Oh, look at that. Gonna put it back down. Wow. Whew. I don't want to repeat that. All that for that board being so hot. I think we have a burn count on here. That must be 10 times I've touched things. That it's a little bit toasty. We have a microchip under there, and it's a Broadcom, so that's definitely Wi-Fi. What do we reckon that does? I think I've just reflowed it, so I don't think that's got any dry joints. Ah, we have a crystal there as well, but that's nice. And this is just so hard to get to. Is it worth? No, I think I'll do it if I can get it working. I was going to say, is it worth just taking that off now while the board's hot? But I think I'll warm that back up and do that. Just get rid of that humongous. Edit that out, Tony. Oh, look at this. Tweezed it wrong way. Now it's stuck to the tweezers. This board is a little bit toasty. It's 87 degrees according to the thermal camera. 87 degrees, which is yeah, a little bit too warm. Tell you what, you do notice. You notice how warm you get when you're doing this. So yeah, it's cooling down nicely, but yeah, 80 degrees now, so it is cooling down. So should we check for shorts around that? That's really, really warm. I don't really want to cool the board down, because should we take all these off while we're here? Because in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's get them all off, and let's do the job. Let's really destroy it. We've got, spin this round, because there is a little bit of an opening. You want better sound camera because it is tiny, but there is a bit of an opening on the chip just there. So it is just a case of getting this incredibly warm. I don't know what we're going to do when we get to this big boy here. That's a big boy. If we can get a bit of flux drinking, that's sucking it in well. And I did notice, but just as it was coming loose before, the flux started to If you're just joining us, we're working on a Netgear X6 R8000 Wi-Fi router that does boot, but as soon as the Wi-Fi turns on, it restarts. So we are just trying to get into the Wi-Fi chips. And if you are just joining us, you've missed me burning myself well over 10 times. Not professional. I don't repair Wi-Fi routers for a living, as you can see. But I thought I'd give it a shot. If you don't try, you never know. And if you don't know, you're not trying hard enough. So we'll see how it goes. The clock is ticking. Oh, gonna melt my plastic connector. Who forgot to remind me? I'll be amazed if I ever get this back together, let alone working. Are we all curious to see what's under here? We've got the smoke. We've got the smoke. We know what the smoke means. Wow. It means if I touch it, ooh. Actually generating some heat because my thermal mat underneath is bubbling. Oh, look at this. Come up at one side. Come up at the other. Are we going to be able to take it off? I think we are. By Jove, Jim. Right. Move straight onto the... let's tackle the big bad boy. Some magic liquid wrap. Oh, I've left that in. Well, my flux ain't cold anymore. Let's put it like that. Stick that over the plastic connector. Stick that on there. That's hot. 2 down. Put a bit of aerosol on that. It's just electrical contact cleaner, is that? But it's nice and cold and it'll dissipate the heat. It'll rob the heat from the tubal. I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, I wish I were as good as this guy. 30 years of practice. Not practicing this. And it just seemed like yesterday. All my dreams seem so far away. That's the song there, we're not going to sing that. You know what I should have done is check the fuse in the plug. This is an Atan ST862. I think it's about a 1200 watt hot air station. It's not a toy. And it's on full power, 480 degrees. Fair due's 40% air, but even so, I would have thought it would have done it. If not, I think I need some dragon breath on it. It's so hard. I think it's one of them jobs you do in installments. Wow. Who's feeling the heat more? Me or that little tiny capacitor? I think what it's doing, the metal is getting hot, but it's being robbed of all its thermal heat by the chips underneath, which are then dumping it into the board, hence why the board feels like lava. I mean, to give you an idea, that's what I'm cooking. Look at the thermal camera in the top right. The board is over 100 degrees, let alone the poor little metal. I'm thinking something might help. Maybe some petrol and a match. That's the only way I'm going to get up to the desired temp. So what do we think's under this one? I'm thinking this is CPU. I'm thinking this was a working CPU. I'm thinking this CPU is sweating more than me on a 15k run. Oh, we've got a lot of movement now. Come on. Come on, you beauty. We've got this side off nearly. Let's work where we... yeah, been arm chip. If anybody's thinking about doing this themselves, I'm doing it so you don't need to. And basically, just don't. I'm hoping if we can get the centre heat pad off, it'll start freeing the rest of it up much better, because it won't be conducting the heat down to the poor little CPU. And I think that's why when you get the centre off, it will suddenly start working off a lot better. Oh my gosh. Ah, that's why. I'm just going to park that there a second. You never told me, James. Didn't need to heat it up. It's only the frame which is soldered on. The top cover just pops off. See? Let's, while we're doing this, every day's a school day. Oh dear me. This one shouldn't take too long. Cook it on gas now. Cook it on gas. Anybody wants to buy this router afterwards, it'll be unique. It'll be the one with no working chips. Oh, this is, yeah, certainly. Whoa, dear me. Wow. 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 Ouch. Wouch. Saved my little connector. Let's take that thermal pad off. Let's take that thermal pad off. Let's get these under microscopic and see what chips these are. So we've got about 10 minutes left on this, guys. Give that a bit of a another Broadcom chip. Can I just ask all the 7 people which are watching, What are those? Can you see? There's a little bit of a line through it. Is that a L6A? I presume. Is that an inductor? Never seen one looking like that before. Still soldered on. Yeah, never seen anything. Yeah, that's a good point. Switch to microscope view. Glad you're paying attention. Yeah, sorry, one of these. Let's just rewind that. So, just wondering if anybody can identify what this is. It's an L6A, and it's brown, and it's got a little line going through it. I presume it's an inductor starting with L. Am I right in thinking that? I don't know how clear that's coming up on your camera. I'm down to my maximum. Ouch! This board is toasty. Stick that on there a second. Just give me a bit of elevated height so I can just zoom in. Yeah, can you see those? They've got a line through them. Yeah, so not sure. Not sure what that is. They was tricky to get off. They're CLC filters. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking myself. It's a CLC filter. But the question is, do you know what a CLC filter does? Because I bet you can't answer that question. I mean, of course I know, but for the 318 people watching, they might want to know. That'll be the flash. Woo! And that'll be CPU is going to be under there, isn't it? Should we see what the CPU it's got? Oh, maybe we won't. Yeah, we're not going to set that off. There's a CPU under there. If anybody's wondering, there's a CPU under there. I can't believe that one was just clipped on. But anyway. So we're going to be looking at a bit of IPA. 1 Broadcom chip, 2 Broadcom chips, 3 Broadcom chips. So these are going to take, because there's 6 antennas on the board. Should we have a go at taking one of these off, since we're cooking? Should we take the big one off? Yeah, a bit optimistic, weren't it, saying it were a laptop Wi-Fi card? Shall we? Yeah, that's me when I were taking the heatsink off. I just can't believe how much heat you need to put into this board. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these side ones off, and we have a Broadcom BCM43602 KMLG. Just rolls off the tongue, that. BCM34602 KMLG. That's, yeah, so these must be multi, because it's a 5 and a 2.4 gigahertz router. So I'm just wondering, whilst the board is extremely hot, and I've got 9 minutes left, whether I just do another one of these off and one of these off, just to see what's under them, and then at least we know whether we're batting or bowling, whether maybe one of the drivers under there or something else. So I'm going to take this end one off. I am going to just put that back up there because I'm going to get something else which is a bit more heat resistant, because that is really close to the edge. And this will just give it a bit better, little bit better protection. So we're just going to take this. When I say just, it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to remove. Oh, these don't have a gap in. Brilliant. And they're right next to the... I'm going to stick that over my little Wi-Fi antenna pop-out thing. This is a... this is a Netgear router, which has proven extraordinarily tricky to open up, just to get into. We've had to harness the power of 3 small suns and burn out 2 supernovas just to get the thing here. I'm just wondering whether I have a word with CERN and see if I can just send it down to them to put in the kaleidoscope of neutrons, whatever they do. Because I don't even think Doc Brown could have opened this. This might not take as much with being closer to the edge. It might not take anywhere near as much heat, but it is looking like it is. Wow. If anybody's ever done this on stream, please put your hand up and let me know, because I've took these thermal things off in the past on mobile devices, tablets or things like that. Never on a router. I cannot say how hot this is getting and burning my hands. Just crazy. Wow. Up against the time now. I think I'll get this one off, and I will get the other one off, and then unfortunately we're going to have to call it on the stream because I have got prior engagements. I weren't expecting such a big problem with getting the heat sinks off. Right, that's that done. Let's swap over to... Ooh! Ouch! Number 13. Unlucky for some. Certainly for me. Because I burnt my thumb. Ouch! That should be outlawed. I might put... Just putting that on there just to stop me damaging that plastic connector with the heat. I will show us on microscope before we go what is under there. This one's actually opening. Now these don't have holes in these, so it's a lot harder. Other side had little openings in, so you could get a tool in. These just have nothing. There we go, magic white smoke. Means we're getting up to danger zone. I get to the danger zone. Look at this, karaoke as well. Right, thank goodness for that. At this rate, I'll have to put another 10 bob in meter. Wow, it's a little bit toasty. So we have my new hard drives. Oh, let's just look over to the microscope. Even if I leave this a week, I think it'll still be warm. So we have some different chips under here. So it looks like we just populated with some inductors, capacitors, resistors. No idea what this is. Some type of resistor, do we think? Yeah, a couple of different chips under there, and that's that. Let's just skip over to this side. Got another one of those, whatever, FLH100. Is that a filter of some description, do we think? Got the same chips, just in slightly different layout. So the other things on the board. No worries, James. Have a good day, and speak to you soon. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for the input. Yeah. So where I am with this, guys, I have now managed to wreck it completely, and we are at a point of, at least we've got a couple of these off, so I can identify what chips are under here, and so on. The hard thing was getting the covers off and the heat sinks off and the metal shells, and certainly the main heatsink. That was torturous to try and get that off, the big one, because it was soldered down with these pegs through the board, so you had to heat up from underneath if you weren't here for that, and bring that heatsink off because it was the other side. Rather than screwing it through, they've soldered it, so they clearly don't really want us to touch it for whatever reason. Well, so you can buy a new one. We know what reason. So I'm gonna call it here for today, guys. Thank you very, very much for everyone who's joined and has put up with me rambling on for the last whatever long it is, 2 hours and 10 minutes. And thanks to the people who's helped out with help and advice. I will do some research on these chips to see if I can find some information out. I would imagine these are pretty common Wi-Fi chips, and the bits and bobs on the back here as well. Because this router to replace the new model of this router is £700, £699. So it's not like, it's not like it's a £50 router. So if I can get to the bottom of it, at least it's saved from landfill, because we don't like things going to landfill, and B, it just might see another day and help us surf the tinterweb with something else. So we'll call that it for today, guys. Thank you very much again for everyone joining in. Thanks for putting up with. Thanks for watching, and I will be looking at this. If you have enjoyed or endured what you are seeing, please check out some of my other videos, and please hit the like button or the subscribe button. It does really mean a lot. And come say hello in chat as well. And yeah, we'll catch up soon and hopefully revisit this. I have got an NVIDIA Shield, which is going to be one of my next projects, and a couple of remotes which I got with that. Also a 3060 NVIDIA 3060 that I'll be taking a look at. And there are a couple of laptops that I worked on last week on my previous videos, if you want to have a look at those. And the parts hopefully will be turning up for those this week, and then we can get those fitted and get those back up and running. And yeah, work from there really. So thanks again, guys. Have a good day, have a good Sunday, have a good weekend. Enjoy the forthcoming week, and we'll speak soon. Thanks. See you guys. Bye bye.